Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wylde, and Jesse Blake.
All right, today's show is all about your feelings.
Uh-huh.
It's all about your feelings. And the reason for that is because we don't have any games to talk about.
Oh.
There hasn't been any real action since Friday.
There was a Clippers game last night.
There was.
So you're obsessed with this game because you made how much? $2.40?
I'm pretty sure. No, it was $4.25.
Was that what you got returned, or is that what you made?
Listen,
What did you bet?
You're asking-
What
You
were you
made
doing?
$2.
What were you doing?
I put $2 live bet on the Clippers and they won.
What quarter did you do it in?
The fourth.
Oh.
When they were up one.
Wow.
And
he
Jesse's like, oh, you almost lost
So
the bet.
hold on.
Haven't you ever seen Fast and the Furious?
Hold on, so
I
he
didn't
bet-
almost lose anything.
Did he
bet
bet
the
on the
team-
leading team
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter?
At plus money.
Oh, man.
No.
Kiss my bottom.
You must be really thankful that Russell Westbrook had 1 minute of good basketball all game.
Yeah. Thank you to Russell. I'm glad to be one of the few fans he hasn't personally yelled at.
Did you see that video?
Yes, I did.
You better watch your fucking mouth.
Oh my
That was
god.
crazy.
That was crazy.
Great.
People who were in that room said that the dude was mouthy. Like,
Yeah, of
he had
course.
every right to yell at him, but also pro athlete probably don't yell at fans.
Dude, that
I don't
happens
know.
all the time.
You know what?
The number one comment I kept seeing was, how did he get in there? Where
That's
was
so
it?
true. But
Yeah.
also, second, the amount of shit Russell Westbrook has taken unfairly this year. At some point, he's a human being. The guy's gonna snap. Like it's ridiculous what happened to him in Los Angeles, and like they brought him in there. He was not a fit, and everybody knew it. And then everybody blamed him for not being a fit. If LeBron called and said, "Hey, you want to come play basketball with me?" You're saying yes. You're saying yes.
I would.
Yeah, and LeBron will call you one of these days, Steve. It's gonna happen.
I mean, if the SNL skit is to be believed.
What's that one?
I have a chance. The one where, like, you know when they roll the ball along the ground to inbound it to save time?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at that. Like, I could definitely do that.
You could do that for
So
sure.
where do you guys stand on the line of a guy who is like in over his head, probably a little drunk, knows that the pro athlete can't do anything to him because that dude he'll sue you and he'll win the lawsuit, you know?
Has a YouTube channel.
Right. versus the athlete who is just taking a bunch of shit in his face. And if it was just man to man, like outside, just person to person, he'd probably step up to you and you would back down.
What is my thoughts on it? It's I don't know what the right word for it is, but if you are a man, you are less than a man. It's
Whoa.
a bullshit move. I don't know what words, because honestly, there are words that we would have used on the playground that are no longer acceptable to use.
Yes.
but I'll be honest with you, like I think that is it's a bullshit loser move. It really is, because like what's Russell Westbrook's not going to go in there, and the worst we could say is that he told him to watch his mouth. Like, God, my parents told me to watch my fucking mouth. Like, are you kidding me? Like, he literally just scolded him.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. I don't understand why that's such a big thing. Or I guess I do, but like, I feel like first off, if you're the drunk guy and you're doing that, you know what you're doing. You're trying to get on TV. You're trying to go viral. Like,
He's trying
get
to
out
goat
of
this
here.
guy who he knows can't defend himself.
Yes.
because
Just too
he's always
comfortable.
in the wrong.
You're just too comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's funny. We don't really have this conversation in hockey because fans are so separated from the players
Super separated
because of the glass and everything.
Yeah.
Then it's probably baseball where it's basically the same except there's no glass. Then there's football where you do see football players give it to the fans a little bit more because there's a little less separation. And then there's basketball where you're sitting on the playing field.
Yeah, your feet could be on the playing surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. And weirdly, basketball players are the most comfortable telling you fuck you back.
Yeah.
And it's because they're
I
human
don't-
beings and you're right there.
I don't have a problem with it. Like, even if like, okay, if you bring your kid to a game, people are like, well, what about the kids? I actually had the privilege of sitting courtside at Skydome.
You said
What, Adam?
I sat courtside
Whoa.
at Skydome.
You had great seats. for
That's
something?
right. That's right.
No way.
I know, it's wild.
Oh my
But that's
God.
when nobody, remember, Skydome was like nobody wanted to see the Raptors
You bet it's
play at
wild.
Skydome.
So since '96, you've been sitting in your season seats.
yeah.
you were
I have.
8.
I have. Yeah, and one guy, and then I did it again. Later on, and I sat beside Leafs rookie sensation Matt Stajan and his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
But somebody, I think it was at that point, someone like Miller. Do you remember Miller on the Raptors back then?
Yeah, I forget his first name. Yes.
Anyway, he told somebody to fuck off, and to be honest with you, it was nothing that my friends weren't saying to each other already on the playground. Like, I think people start swearing around grade 3, grade 4, just to try it out.
Well, you'd hear some bad words, and my dad would turn and be like, "Oh yeah, don't you go repeating that?" And it's like, I've driven in the car with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I
I
don't know how to say this as an 8-year-old, but Dad, you taught me that.
Yeah,
I know all those words.
Yeah. That's the thing.
I am 100% for booing. I think as a fan, you have a right in the stadium to boo the opposing
100%.
team. Or even boo your own team if they're not performing well. But I think we all kind of know the line that is sometimes crossed. We know when it gets personal with an athlete that can't attack you.
Even if your play is like, you suck, so-and-so, I think that's okay. Yeah. But it's like, hey, your family is horrible and I slept with your wife, or whatever the terrible things that people say to these athletes.
Is that what they say verbatim?
They say it just like that.
What?
Too. It's like, at a certain point, it's like, I'm surprised it doesn't happen in baseball more.
So it's been a week and a half that the Rogers Center's renovations have been revealed and let people into the ballpark,
and it's close.
And it is literally from me to Steve where the bullpen is from their new outfield section, and it's been 3 viral incidents already. One with a beer can dropping into the bullpen, one with a fan having to be removed and then being let back into his seat because they're like, we're putting you back in your seat because we're unsure if we can throw you out, and then just a whole bunch of heckling.
And
the heckling's going to be a part of it.
But the fans are so desperate to have those seats and the close access to the players that all the viral clips have fans yelling at the fans like, you're going to ruin it for all of us.
Yeah, except that, like, to be honest with you, you ever been to a game in New York? You ever been to a game in Boston? You ever been to a game in Philly?
I've been to a game in Boston.
So some of us aren't as well traveled as Adam Wylde.
I have been to Yankee Stadium. I went to the Red Sox game with you guys in Boston.
Did you talk to Steinbrenner? And
I did not. I sat in George's box.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. It's actually Hal Steinbrenner. Okay.
How's Derek?
So
how's Derek?
And the Phillies as well. And I'll be honest with you, whatever you think a Toronto fan can say, a Philly fan has and does and regularly will say it worse.
Oh.
Like, you stand no chance. You think these guys aren't somewhat used to some of that? Come on. Not that I like it. I don't want a beer can dropped in there. That's bullshit.
But luckily, it's now the Stanley Cup playoffs, and fans are just there to enjoy the sport.
What do you mean?
Everyone's just going to calm down.
Oh, yeah.
No one's going to say anything.
No.
No one would say anything.
They're going to sit on their hands.
No. Yeah. The heavens no.
I think
go team.
I think good on Russell Westbrook.
I saw a guy with a foam finger
sometimes. What?
I saw a guy with a foam finger. Had security remove him. Can't have that shit.
Oh yeah, do they not allow that sometimes?
No, man, they fucking made
joking.
that up.
He's
okay. I'm like, shit. I don't know, man.
Slap you right in your knee.
I don't know. Sometimes
get in playoff form, Adam.
56%.
Adam doesn't know what the regular fans do.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I was a regular fan.
How much could a banana possibly cost? $7? And now it's true? Fuck.
Oh, God. What's the clip of Jeff Bezos talking about a bag of milk?
He's like, I honestly don't know.
$26 or something? He doesn't know.
Listen, why are we asking Jeff Bezos? We know the answer to that question.
Yeah, but it's hilarious.
I guess. I think what was more hilarious is his laugh. When he was going up on his blue dick space flight or whatever, the Jeff Bezos laugh is just out of this world funny.
Because he's flying up on a giant blue dick.
and like
when you're eventually written about in the history books, that's the photo. Like, I don't know if people that famous ever think that through. That you've accomplished all these things, you've revolutionized. Yeah, in the history book that writes about the world's richest man in 2023, it'll just be a picture of you next to a giant phallic spaceship.
Oh.
You South Park character. How are you a real person?
Edge of it. Did this moment motivate you to push deeper into the cosmos?
Hell yes.
That was even weirder than I thought it would be.
I'm not going to sleep for days.
Do you want to one more
That
time?
terrifies me so much more than the Tampa Bay Lightning. One more time.
I was like, he's wearing a cowboy hat.
Why is he wearing a cowboy
He's a
hat?
space cowboy.
Jeff, wear it. It's going to be hilarious.
All right, here we go.
Have grander space ambitions than going to the edge of it. Did this moment motivate you to push deeper into the cosmos?
Hell yes.
Because you have grander space.
Wow.
That is the laugh of someone who had their cereal with blood instead of milk that morning. Oh my gosh.
Scary.
What on
Scary.
earth is that?
I want to drop some NHL playoff stats for you. Okay.
Ooh.
This is from Arun Srinivasan, and I hope I said his last name correctly. He is regularly on Game Over Montreal with Andrew. Really nice guy. And I want to ask you this. Okay. Who led in points last year in the playoffs?
Connor McDavid.
Nathan McKinnon.
Connor McDavid.
Yes.
Wow.
And he didn't even play in the fourth round.
1-0. 1-0. You loser.
Shit.
Who has the most points in the playoffs since the year 2000? Okay.
Jesus.
So like no,
Like in a single postseason?
in a single postseason. Let me finish the question. In a single postseason.
In a single postseason, yeah.
Yeah. And what year did it happen?
Connor McDavid. 2022.
He was close. He was 3 points behind.
Nikita Kucherov 2020.
No, what's your actual answer, Jeff?
Oh,
I thought that was actually.
No, I still want to.
Sidney Crosby, third Penguins one.
Okay, so that'd be 16, right?
Yeah.
Logan Couture actually led that year.
He had a wild year.
He did.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, he
went
popped off.
Yeah, he did 30 points in playoffs.
Oh, gosh.
The most ever is from the Pittsburgh Penguins from their first Stanley Cup win, I believe in 2009 because they lost in 08.
Yeah.
Yes.
Evgeny Malkin, 36 points.
Oh, wow. Really?
In the modern era, we'd call that. I know Gretzky had like 60 points one year because it was goofy. Goofy.
That's
Absolutely
so
goofy.
funny. Okay.
Okay.
By year, sort of like in one postseason, in the modern era, 2000 to present, who has led with the most goals? Who's had the most goals in one playoff?
Like in a single postseason.
In a single, just like the last one, yeah.
Okay.
2000 to present. No, he was a playmaker. I wonder. Vinny LeCavalier?
How many goals would he have had?
15.
Jesse.
I desperately want to say Phil Kessel that year he got robbed with the Conn Smythe.
No. No, he
know,
was
that'd
up
be nice,
there.
I
wouldn't
know it wasn't that much. Is it Vinny LeCavalier the right answer?
Vinny LeCavalier is not the right answer.
Oh,
Okay.
There are
I hate the way you phrase that.
There are two correct answers.
Oh, so two guys are tied? Yeah.
Is
Different
one of them
years.
Vinny
Different
LeCavalier?
years.
No? Shit.
Not Vinny LeCavalier.
Okay, so when the Bruins won their cup in 2011, they played 3 7-game series.
It's a
Which
lot of
makes
games.
me wonder if it was fucking
Well, who played for them?
Bergeron.
Okay, Jesse, your answer?
I'm just going through each cup victory, and I'm just trying to think of like a really high-powered offense that kind of won the cup, and I don't know which one to pick out because there's not a lot of them.
That's a good strategy.
Feels like Ovi was pretty good when the Caps won. I don't know, man.
I'll take the easy route. I'll take Ovi.
Okay, well, how many goals?
20.
Okay, too high on the goals. Way too high on the goals. Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby are tied.
That's amazing.
Hey, let's go.
Love
15 goals. Crosby did it in 09, Ovechkin in 2018.
Nice.
And I want to, just for fun's sakes, the least amount that I can see, the least amount ever for leading goals in the playoffs happened in 2012 in the modern era. 8 was the high.
I was going to say 8. Okay.
Can you name the 5 players that tied for the lead? Or name a couple.
2012 is the Kings, right?
Yeah.
Kings and Devils.
So Kopitar.
Kopitar is one of them.
Nice.
Jeff Carter.
No.
No.
Wow.
Tyler Seguin.
Dustin Brown. Not Tyler Seguin.
Jamie Benn.
Nope. We're talking Kings and we're talking Devils. Went to the finals.
Oh, Kings. Why did I think Dallas?
I don't know.
What am I talking about?
Kovalchuk?
Kovalchuk.
Not Clarkson.
No, not
Okay.
Davey Clarkman. One of them is not a King and not a Devil, by the way, at this point.
2012.
Trying to think of who
Is Crosby on the list?
No.
No.
I think they only went to the second round that year.
Yeah. How did the Blackhawks do that year?
Final Four?
Is
Not a Blackhawk. I'll just
not
put it
a
that way.
Blackhawk? All
You're
right.
missing one Devil and one somebody else.
one Devil.
Who scored a lot for the Devils that year?
Elias?
Parise
That
and
crazy.
Claude Giroux.
Yeah, because of that Pittsburgh series alone.
Now, who holds the most points in a single season playoff ever?
Wayne Gretzky.
Okay.
Has to be.
How many?
You said the modern day record was 36, right?
Yeah, the modern day record is 36, but this is going back to the
So
80s now.
I'm just trying to give perspective. So Wayne Gretzky, if he breaks any record, he's probably like double what the other guy is.
It's at least 50 points. I'm going to say 54.
Jesse, do you have a thought?
47.
Wayne Gretzky, 47.
Oh, whoa!
And it happened in 1985.
Let's go.
Also on that list, in the top 10 is tied for 8, Doug Gilmour with the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1993 at 35 points.
Cool, thanks.
No wonder
Yeah,
he
no. You did a great job closing it out. I believe something happened with Gretzky.
Gretzky.
Yeah, he signed sticks for Kerry Fraser.
Yeah.
Somebody's not bitter.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not at all. For something that happened when I was 5. Yeah, no. Absolutely.
It would make all of this so much easier if they won then.
Right?
That's so funny. Johnny Bower is number 2 all time for the best single season goaltending performance by save percentage. Happened in 1963. 10 games played because the playoffs were only 2 rounds at that point. What was
This is barely.
what was his save percentage? Over 10 games.
10 games.
In the 60s.
960.
960.
I'm going to go the other direction and say 9-10.
Jesse is closest, but he did go over. 949.
Wow.
And
I thought you were gonna say like 820.
yeah, I know. The best was Jacques Plante for the St. Louis Blues in 1969 in 10 games, 950 save percentage.
Damn.
Which is
950, and
pretty
that's
wild.
after the Bruins ruined it,
Yeah.
too.
Now, who is the active save percentage leader who is still playing?
Jack Campbell.
Not Jack Campbell.
No, I know.
What do you mean?
So these are goalies that are still playing, active save percentage leader in the playoffs, minimum 25 career games.
Oh, so I can't like pick Linus Ullmark.
No.
So it's,
I was going to pick Ottinger.
You gotta
we're
have
talking
25 games.
guys who've played 25 games in the playoffs.
That's right.
It's got to be like Tristan Jarry or something. Are we talking? Do they have to have made the playoffs this year? Because then I'm picking Carey.
They don't
Price.
have to have made the playoffs this year.
Carey Price.
Jonathan Quick.
Craig Anderson.
Oh!
48 games played, 929.
He had some unbelievable games.
The next closest is Braden Holtby at 926 with 97 games played.
Also unbelievable.
And Toronto Maple Leaf Matt Murray tied for 6th with 921 and 51 games played.
Such a weird guy.
I
Such
know,
a weird
isn't that
goalie,
wild?
man.
That's wild. Most cup appearances, we already know the Montreal Canadiens are number 1.
Okay.
Who is number 2?
In the final?
No, just in the Stanley Cup appearances ever.
Not wins, just
Appearances you were
visited
there.
the Stanley Cup.
Hey, thanks for showing up. You were the last 2 teams.
The Red Wings. No, they didn't win a lot early on in the original 6. Which original 6 are you going with?
Surely the Leafs. They're second.
I'll stick with the Red Wings.
Oh, they haven't been there for a very long time.
The Red Wings are second with 24 appearances. The Leafs are third with 21.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. And the next closest are the Boston Bruins, maybe equaling the Toronto Maple Leafs this year with their potentially 21st appearance. I don't know. I just thought that might be fun to kick off the show
like
with.
that.
Yeah.
It's good.
Now, obviously, tonight, we have some games.
What?
And I know it's crazy. We got the Islanders and Hurricanes at 7. And to spread it out, we got the Panthers and Bruins at 7:30.
And both with intrigue. Like
Huge intrigue.
One, the Bruins, apart from Bergeron being a little banged up, to what degree we don't know. Jim Montgomery announced that there's an illness going through the team.
Yeah, they're a little sicky poo.
Little sicky poo, maybe a little pooey sick. Never
True.
know
Didn't
what
think
kind
about
of illness
that.
it is.
Hadn't thought about that.
Right? But then there's the Hurricanes Islanders series where, like, has anyone ever been this down on a division
Yeah,
winner?
why is everybody upset about Carolina's very good.
I
What
feel
is it
like
that
I'm
we
in the
don't?
minority betting on them.
I feel okay. Here's what I think, and I think I'm guilty of this. So I want to just say, I feel like everybody's got to pick at least one upset, and for whatever reason, the Islanders and the playoffs and the way they play hockey, it's sort of like, okay, well, they've got to be the team that upsets, right? Maybe that's not fair to the Canes.
Winners, they're the most likely to be upset, but I still bet on them. Like they're
the division winner.
They've been there and like battling, holding off the Devils and Rangers all season long in order to get that spot. Islanders just got there. Mm-hmm. And listen, if I'm the Hurricanes, on the night I find out that we drew the Islanders, I'm going, fucking fuck. What did we even do all this for?
Right.
But you have to look at yourself as the favorite.
I think so.
Right.
if you're at the NHL and you don't look yourself at the favorite, I'm sure the Islanders are like, well, we don't care what the betting odds are. We're the favorite in our own minds.
I don't know.
Nobody believed in us.
There might be an element of the Florida Panthers that's like, fuck.
So then Panthers Bruins against
with the Islanders, there's a lot of reason to kind of blindly believe in the Islanders because of how they've played recently. One,
sure.
Two, how they get their production is not from the stars, and having the ability to get 4 lines worth of scoring is so key in the playoffs because you never know who's going to falter or who's going to show up.
D as well. Noah Dobson had a really underrated season,
and I believe Barzal's going to play.
Yep.
Yeah, you get a star back, and you have Carolina, who's missing one of their top stars.
I don't know if Brock Nelson is in there. I know he was banged up late in the year.
Mm-hmm. And then you have just the history of the last 3 seasons of the Islanders, where you have a couple conference finals appearances, and then a season that falters because of the longest road trip in the world because they're building a new arena. And
it shows you the respect is still there.
And then, nobody kind of nobody faulted them for that year. They kind of said, okay, now we're just back to where they should be, playing this the whole season. And they go on the great run at the end of the year to get back into the playoffs, and the Penguins shit the bed. Mm-hmm. And then now they're here. And if you're going to pick an upset, they're a very good team. I don't think it's going to happen at all. Like, I'm still like Carolina Hurricanes in 6, but
they're fine for a flyer.
Yeah, there's a lot of reason to like the Islanders. This is coming from a person who's only been wrong about the Islanders because I picked them to not make the playoffs.
Are we doing that today?
Yeah,
we are going to do that today.
Yeah.
Panthers,
Who was the
Bruins,
wrongest?
Wild Stars, Kings, Oilers, and then tomorrow, 7 o'clock, the Devils.
Give me fuel, give me fire.
Give me Timo fucking Meyer.
The Devils! Take on Jesse's Rangers.
Yeah.
The Lightning and the Leafs at 7:30 because, of course, now 7:30 we all know means about 8:15 or whenever they feel like dropping the puck. Golden Knights and Jets at 9:30, and then the Kraken and Avalanche at 10 o'clock Eastern.
As someone who is streaming the game, I sincerely hope you're wrong.
Oh, you know how this is. It's we got to do a big honor for this person, a big honor for that. Can we just get to the game? Sometimes I just want to get to the game.
First game of the playoffs, I think they just fucking get to it.
Do they?
Get after it.
Do they get after it?
Well, 7:30 is already to the advantage of Tampa.
I'm boiling.
Are you? You're taking off your. I was like, do you have something else?
Oh, absolutely dying. I'm so hot.
I thought it was weird you were wearing layers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you don't do that.
No, I don't.
There you go.
So there we go.
There
we go. Just a little shout out to.
No, that's not.
There it is.
That's not gonna fly.
It's not gonna fly.
No.
All right. Well,
flying right off the table is what it's gonna.
But don't you forget. Now,
How are your buttons?
The buttons?
Yeah, you good? They didn't.
Oh, yeah,
you
no,
didn't
they're
rip 'em?
Snap-on.
Oh, you got fake buttons.
Because I'm a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all tomorrow, and we're all very excited about it. But I want to run through a couple of things. First off, don't you just love when Pierre LeBrun does the rival execs thing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's wrong with the Leafs this time?
Well, This one surprised me, and it might surprise you. By the way, Rasmus Sandin currently watching Leafs practice, like right now. He's in town, and CJ asked him about it. He's like, "Oh, I'm just here with some friends to pack my shit from his apartment." So he's actually at Leafs practice right now.
Poor guy.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
You know what?
He's
in town. They should just let him play.
They should.
They should just let him play.
Apparently, he talked to Dubas and Shanny too. Like it's all,
Yeah. But like, that's sad. You know, you got to pack up your stuff and leave.
Yeah, I don't think he's that sad. He did pretty good when he moved to Washington. I think that was coming a long time. Like, wouldn't you feel relieved if you were him?
I think things have gone pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, you guys, these people are human too.
I know.
They're not just
Which is why
patters.
I think he was thrilled to get out of here.
Yeah,
I do.
but like he was living here for so long, and now he's got to leave. It's not his hometown, but I assume he loved the city, and now he can't live here anymore because Dubas was a big meanie and traded him to Washington.
Oh, big bully Dubas.
All valid points, but if I'm Dubas, I'm like, hey, it's great to see you. How about you get the fuck out of here? Because we don't need any distractions right now.
That's true.
Because you were here. We haven't won in a while.
Can you put your glasses on and pretend to be Dubas and say it to Rasmus in the camera?
Your camera 4.
Camera 4?
Camera. Oh,
There it is.
they're numbered now.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
They were always numbered.
Hey, listen, man. I didn't notice that. Hey, Rasmus, really appreciate everything you did here for Toronto, and more importantly, the Sioux Greyhounds. Just wanted to say it's great to see you again, and how about you get the fuck out of here? Because we're preparing for the Stanley Cup playoffs, unlike your bum-ass team. Right? Can you imagine him saying that?
Eric Gustafson's more handsome, too.
Scooch to my
He's the
right.
more handsome suite.
There you go. Oh, there. That's
Analytics. Abacus. Oh, wait, I'm not wearing them.
nice. There you go.
Abacus. Undervalued small guys.
All right, now get into a
Trading
fight with
down.
Shanahan.
I lose because it's Brendan Shanahan.
Brandon Shanahan, we always talk about how pro athletes are just different species altogether. Brendan Shanahan still looks like a pro athlete.
Yeah, he has an air about him that demands being referred to as sir.
Yeah, it does.
Do you think Rod Brindamore, Brendan Shanahan, and Stevie Y have just like a run club where they just stay jacked into their elder years?
Fucking Ron Francis,
Ron
too.
Francis,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
When he was doing the
He's
Seattle
part of
selections,
that.
I'm like, that man is huge.
Yeah, he's
What-
part of
he's
their lift
jacked.
squad.
Yeah.
Where they
When I
just
was-
power lift.
When I was in Vancouver for the draft, I was walking somewhere and this huge man ran by me, and it was Tom Fitzgerald, who was, I believe, the GM of the Devils at the time. Or not. He was in Devils management.
Big dude?
Former Leaf.
Big dude?
Not just solid.
Oh, yeah.
Solid, brolic,
Yeah.
dense. Oh, good word. Good word, me.
Dense.
Dense.
High five yourself.
Dense. It's just very dense. Like he
Say it one
would
more
be
time.
dense. He'd be at least 25 pounds heavier than someone else of the exact same size.
There it is.
There it is.
So what do other
Dense.
coaches think of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Other coaches, executives, that sort of thing. I like when LeBron does this. Now, I have to say that I was shocked reading this.
Oh.
Let me go to head coach number
Why
one.
were they complimentary?
Head coach number 1, I think Toronto wins the series. Head coach number 2, pick Toronto. Head coach number 3, Leafs in 6. Head coach number 4, Toronto. Head coach number 5, I think Toronto. Head front office exec 1, I'm going with Toronto. Office exec 2, going with Toronto. Office exec 3, going with Toronto. Office exec number 4, Tampa in 7. Number 5.
Fuck you.
No, number 5 said Tampa. Number 6 said Toronto. Number 7 said Toronto. So I could keep going here, but essentially he asked a lot of people, and he put together a record here.
John Cooper got a big blown up, not a printed thing. He got a canvas.
14-4 for the Leafs. Leafs were 5-0 with head coaches and 9-4 with execs.
Wow.
That's interesting. Now, does that fill you with confidence, or does it scare you because we know what certain front offices can be like?
Read the next paragraph.
Which the summary one?
After, so it's not close.
So it's not close. So it's worth noting, a year ago I did this exact same exercise ahead of the Battle of Alberta second round playoff series, and it was a unanimous sweep as 7 executives and all 4 head coaches picked the Flames, who went on to lose in 5 games. But boy, I bet they felt good after game 1.
So the track record of these execs
Is
believing
good.
in the team, not great.
It's good.
Not great.
That is some bullshit, Pierre. Not happy with you right now.
Does that make you feel one way or the other? Because, the whole thing with you is the Dangle jinx, and, whenever you pick a team, they lose, and Colorado fans are just overjoyed by the fact that in your bracket that you posted this weekend on SDPN's channel.
Just true.
You just said that you basically said, no, I don't think they have it this year.
I think it'll be extra fuel for Tampa. I mean, how often have they been in this position where they're the underdog? Like, even last year, I think they fed off of, but they can't do it a third time. Tampa's own Stanley Cup rings for their second cup in 2021 seemed to indicate they couldn't do it a third time. Do you know what it says on the cup rings? Last day at school. Or last day of school.
Right.
And I know that's not to imply, hey, we're never going to win ever again. But it's to imply, hey, we're never going to win again with this group on account of this group is leaving. They lost their entire third line. But then what happens if you win the third one? They were only, 2 games shy? Mm-hmm. They lost in 6?
Yep.
They have Braden Point, like CJ said. Who the hell knows? I think they revel in these opportunities. And I shudder to think what a carefree Tampa team could do.
They could lose.
Hopefully. That's my hope.
I don't think they're carefree.
Yeah.
I think them going to the finals means a lot because now, last year nobody thought they could do it. This year, everybody extra doesn't think they can do it.
Well, giving up 6 assets for Tanner Jeannot isn't exactly carefree.
Right.
But, there are different expectations this year. And, let's say they beat the Leafs.
Okay.
Is anyone picking them to beat the Bruins?
No.
If it is the Bruins?
This is what I'm saying, though.
Imagine it's a repeat of last year and it's second round Tampa, Florida again. You got a pair of upsets. Holy shit!
If the Bruins lose, that's a whole different conversation.
Well, if the Bruins lose,
Tampa's seen it.
If Bruins lose, they may fall apart because some of those guys are supposed to retire after this year. Although with the Bruins, it's like, they're going to skate forever. With the Leafs, you almost expect a total implosion of the current team because people are saying if they don't get it done this year, how can you continue with this group?
It's
right. So that could be. I mean, if there was 2 first-round upsets, that's what you could look at.
This is going to be a very busy summer.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a very busy couple of months.
One way or the other. Well, no, I mean, this spring is going to be usual busy.
Oh, okay.
It's, you know what I mean? Like the first round is busy and blah, blah, blah. But the Leafs lose. Hamster Huey and the Gooey Kablooey. Just everyone gone. Everything's on the table. And I'll just make my apologies to my family and I'll just be like, hey, I'm on call because someone's going to be fired or traded or anything at the drop of a hat for the next God knows how long.
Yep.
Just get it all done before you have until July 3rd. After that, stop that.
You're still podcasting after that, though.
I want to drink in the backyard. Leave me alone.
I know you're still going to have to podcast. You can't drink every night in the backyard.
Watch me. Watch me.
All right. Let's talk to Dave because Dave's segment involves you getting a signed Mitch Marner jersey, which I think you might be into. So we'll get to that now.
You can bet that with David Bastel. Brought to you by Sports Interaction. Get in the action and make a play. 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
Okay, so listen, this is a big day today. Obviously, we want to start with danglepicks.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this.
But what is that?
It's our
Tell
daily pick'em.
Tell them what it's about.
Sponsored by Sports Interaction. Brought to you by.
Whoa.
Now
Tell them.
Dave.
Get in there. Up and at 'em.
We have Dave for this.
Oh.
All right, now Dave, we've lined up 10 questions for everybody to answer. You can do this every single game. The giveaway prize, which is provided by Sports Interaction, is a signed Mitch Marner jersey to the person who gets the best, the most points.
Yeah, you can, on danglepicks.com, you can see the leaderboard and you can see our picks too. And
yes.
Where we are in the leaderboard, and you can see if you're one and you're in line to win that Mitch Marner signed jersey.
I'm going to win it and I'm going to hang it behind Adam.
And it's not for every game, it's for every Leafs Lightning
That's
game.
right. That's right. I meant that is every game. Are there other games in the playoffs? No. All right. So, Dave, what else do we need to do here? Like, what are people in for, and how are you making your picks?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because, you have the first round, and some people call this the best part of the postseason, right? I mean, sure, the Stanley Cup is nice to be awarded at the end, and everybody wants to be there and that, but is there a better time in sport than the first round of the NHL playoffs? Because I really don't think there is, right? So let me ask you guys a couple questions, though, because I've kind of dabbled in your picks as well, and I'm kind of curious here. And just for the listeners, do we have anybody on the current set, the three of you, that have picked a team to sweep a team in the first round? Yes or no?
I did not.
I don't think I did either, although I'm feeling less good about the Boston-Florida pick than I did even though
That's what I thought you guys would be talking about.
But the Boston players are all sick, so maybe Florida gets a win in because they're all sick.
Sweeps are so rare in the first round, but I did on my bracket, I did have Boston sweeping Florida.
Yeah, I said 5 games. Yeah. I don't know. Is that the right thing?
I think it might be. What about 7-game series? How many series in the first round go to 7 games? Look at you, Devils and Rangers.
I'm pretty sure I only had 1, but I regret it.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Yeah. I have Oilers Kings going 7, and I'm flip-flopping on Rangers Devils.
I had Lightning Leafs, I think 7.
I'll kill you.
Like even Stars and Wild look like it could go 7 games.
Yeah.
Too.
Now, Minnesota, like they have a couple of injuries right now, and like
Yep.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think we always underrate Dallas, and then they show up in the playoffs, and they're like, oh, nobody can score against this team, and they put up 1 goal and they win.
You also underrate Minnesota, though.
That's true.
Yeah, Dallas probably more so, but yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Battle of the Greens.
I have the Jets to sweep the Golden Knights.
Oh, that's why you're my favorite of the 3.
There you go.
That's right. There you go. Well done.
Dave, what else should we talk about today, my friend?
Well, you know what? Not only that, guys. So log on to danglepicks.com. That's definitely a must, and do that daily, of course, as you mentioned. On the Sports Interaction website too, we have a bracket contest. So just like every other league there is, NHL also has a bracket, and we're giving away over $5,000 worth of prizing. So you sign up, you have your chance, and you select just kind of what we did. You bracket your way all the way down, and you have your 2 cup finalists, and you have your cup winner, and then we see how well we do. At the end of it, sometimes you look like a genius, and other times you look like, how did I think this team was going to win? But nonetheless, free to enter. And I recommend everybody getting in on that because it all starts tonight.
Dave, I got a question. On your bracket, who are the 2 teams in the finals?
Devils, Jets.
No. Wow. Get out of here, Dave. Get out of here. Watch him be right, too.
I admire you, Dave. What a pick.
Oh, some solid picks right there, my friend. Wow. All right. Well,
honestly,
listen.
My first round bets. I'll tell you right now. I have Boston, Florida under 5.5 total games. So I took the under, was plus money 2-1, and I have the Jets to win in 6 games, 4 games to 2.
Oh,
those are 2 locks that I kid you not, as brothers. Those are my 3 that I already have selected.
Wow,
Dave. Last question.
Yeah.
I have a 14-1 New York Rangers Stanley Cup bet. How do you think it's likely to hit? I know you're on New Jersey, but like that's pretty good.
It's really good. My only fear with that is, and here's the thing though, whoever wins that series, I think jumps to the conference final. I really think that either one of those teams could be Carolina or the Islanders. I'm not even sure if Carolina is going to be there in the second round, guys.
Nobody
Nobody.
Why though? Why?
I don't know.
I'm nervous about that. But
Everyone
the Devils, massive speed compared to the Rangers, like tremendous speed. But I'm just wondering if the Devils have reached their point a little too fast, because I thought the Devils would be good in about 2 years. And they're great right now.
They are.
And I love the addition of Luke Hughes. Luke Hughes might be the Devils' best defenseman, and they added him 7 days ago.
Yeah.
That is incredible to a very good defensive team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing the Subban thing, where they brought up the guy at the end of the season. All of a sudden, he's the best player on the ice.
Yeah. Honestly.
Oh, what's that?
We'll see.
Did Adam just place a $2 bet on the Toronto Maple Leafs to win the Stanley Cup.
Did you?
I did just now. 10.21. And I'm gonna. You know what? You can bet it. You can bet a couple. I might even bet it twice.
What?
Might just bet. Remember, you can't. The rule is you can't.
What?
I can't bet on any other team to win the cup.
So
I'm gonna have to win. I'm gonna have to do it twice. If I want to make 2 bets, then I can win $20.
This is stressing me out. I'm stressed.
Nobody bets like I do. You can bet that with me.
Oh no!
Taking over my spot. We're gonna switch sides.
By the way,
okay?
just one more thing. One last thing.
Another thing.
Do you know how much shit I took online on Instagram? I want everybody to know this for the Connor McDavid bet. Like every time there was a graphic posted this weekend about how many points he had and it features goals, people were like, idiot, and they would just tag me in it. And I just want to say thank you. Appreciate that.
That was great, man.
So mean.
That's an outro worthy of Steve Dangle himself.
There you go. All right, Dave, we'll talk to you.
By a goal.
I know.
Attaboy, dumbass.
A loss is a loss, Dave. Hey, we'll see you Friday.
You're stupid.
Guys,
What?
Ron Hextall. He's out, right? He's out in Pittsburgh.
Did this happen before we recorded last episode with CJ?
Yeah,
It
It
did.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it on the show.
It mentioned right after we were in the other studio. Remember? And you pulled it up on your phone.
Oh, right.
And you were like, I'm going to break news to everybody, guys.
And then I did.
I'm going to break news on a podcast. So I thought this was interesting. This is a really great piece on sort of, do you remember when Phil Kessel was traded and Steve said that it was an era wasted?
Yeah.
Right. Josh Yohe from The Athletic wrote this about Ron Hextall. He said, we could calculate all of his mistakes, and there were many. But there is a greater theme with Hextall, one that transported from 1989 to 2023, one that someone transported from 1989 to 2023 could never fathom. As a general manager, Hextall was soft. Really, really soft. That, more than anything, resulted in his demise.
Interesting word.
Soft. Now, he goes on to say it started from the beginning when the Penguins told Hextall they wanted him to build another Stanley Cup team while also enhancing the Penguins prospect pool. It was an impossible request, but the fact is he accepted his orders and he failed in both departments mightily. Now, I want to say this. Had he built another team that was going to go 2 or 3 rounds deep every year, I don't think it matters what the prospect pool is. I don't think anyone cares.
No. At like 2-3 rounds, you're in the fight. Right?
Yeah, who cares?
You're in the fight. It's what if you lose every year in the second round, Washington, it does start to mess with your head a little bit, but you're in the fight.
Yeah.
That's
They
rough.
haven't won a playoff series since they won the cup.
Now, here's the other thing. And I love the Flyers Nation Twitter account. They are worth following, especially because the Flyers suck and it's a mess.
Yeah,
and
this is Christmas for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Tony Andrikaitis, who is a reporter for mostly in the AHL, he said, now that the news is official and Ron Hextall is out as Pens GM, I can report a source told me not to rule out the possibility of Hextall returning to the Flyers' restructured front office.
There are 30 guys up for jobs in the NHL. We've always said this. His is maybe the only one that makes sense. Well, I feel like we haven't given enough attention to if you are a fan of a team in the Metro Division, your team did not make the playoffs, you are guaranteed to have had your coach and or GM fired.
Yeah.
Every single Metro team that didn't make the playoffs
either
had their coach or GM fired, and in one case it was the president as well. I could see Hextall going back there, but I know it's a very strained relationship there with the Flyers, and
with certain members, which would be probably Clark and who's the other guy? The other 2 guys, Bill Barber and
Clark's the one that matters.
of the 3 wise men. Yeah,
but the 3 out of Dateman.
Out of Dateman. Yeah,
something that to me it's funny. Returning to Ron Hextall would actually, to me, signify change. Like a great change for the Philadelphia Flyers, which seems counterintuitive because they're getting the old guy back, but the reason the old guy was gone was because of his relationship with the guys who were there. So there's either been a huge change in philosophy, or the guys who were against Hextall in the first place have left.
I think you gotta leave Daniel Briere to kind of do his thing right now.
Yeah.
You know.
He can't be hired to be the GM.
No, but
God, no.
I don't think he can be hired to be in the room. You know, it's gonna affect, like, okay, the old guy comes in and he says something. It'd be like having a former person who did your job sitting right next to you, and then you're the new guy. You know, it's not a great way for Briere to learn in his first GMing job.
That's how Doug Armstrong learned.
Yeah, I think so.
I listened to your show.
I also want to throw this out there. Goes on to say Hextall didn't want to bring Malkin back last year. He wanted to move in a completely different direction. Vinny Trocheck was on his radar, as were other players.
Oh, I love Vinny Trocheck.
Yeah, kind of. I love him too. He was one of my favorites last year. And of course, later on in the article, Josh says that Hextall became a, quote, laughingstock after trading a second-round pick for Granlund.
I think the Penguins were probably, their fan base anyway, was the most out in the open upset with the trade deadline among the buyers. Among the sellers, it was probably Philly, maybe Vancouver. Vancouver that's a very strange one, because like they didn't get rid of Kuzmenko, but then now they still have him, but then they did really well, but doing really well is actually bad. Given the year.
And then they're over the cap for next year and then they got to re-sign Roenick too. They haven't even done that.
They're going to be absolutely fascinating. Have fun with that, by the way, Alan, if you're listening. It's I bet you'd love the triple hard cap today. But no, they made several moves, none of them really of significance, and they didn't get better. That's a pretty bad trade deadline. And it's soft. They would have been, I said this last show, and I don't know if Penguins fans agree, but they would have been better off going with the big move and getting JT Miller.
I think so.
Who I think actually, JT Miller is a pretty prototypical Brian Burke player.
Yes. And I think he would have fit the system well. And as I said to you, I think last week, at some point, if you have a move like that in your pocket and you make it, if they were able to move that Jason Zucker contract, then it becomes about the player's performance rather than your performance as the GM. Because you could say, hey, listen, I did my job and I didn't trade any crazy prospects for it. I just traded draft picks.
That's a really good way of, that's a really good way of putting it.
What am I supposed to do? I just gave you Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and added JT Miller to it, and you still couldn't get it done? Well,
can you name the 3 roster players Hextall got?
Granlund?
Yeah, there's one. That's a free space.
Brought back someone.
Yeah, there's a forward.
He brought back Bonino.
Yeah. Bonino, there's 2, and they got a defenseman. Russian. Played in the queue.
Not Gavrikov, but the other Russian defenseman that moved, and I'm going to hate myself for not getting this. Come on, it's Kulikov.
That's it!
Hey, well done!
That's it!
Thank you.
Good job.
Good job. That was good.
Thank you, guys.
I'm shocked.
I bet most people couldn't.
You know what? We did a lot of coverage at the trade deadline, so
Yeah.
I actually, more than ever, I remember more trades from this trade deadline than ever before, and I remember
Funny that.
nothing.
Yeah,
right?
Funny how that works.
When you're covering it, it's like, holy, I know everything.
Now you know how Steve's brain works.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I'm still dialed into the 2008 draft. And 2009.
All those people on Junior Hockey Magazine.
100%.
You know them all.
Into those. Yeah, but the last few drafts, and also the Leafs haven't really had any picks. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So all year long, and I'm going to switch gears here. And one of the managerial things, and then we'll get to the head coaches, because there were some head coaches that were fired or whatever. One of the managerial questions we've had is what's going on in Calgary. Brad Treliving had what everybody called probably the best summer last year, and stole the fire from Pierre Dorian. Both teams did so well in the regular season, especially the Sens, so good. And now Alex DeBrincat doesn't want to stay there, which is another story we're going to get to.
Oh gosh.
But as of 10 minutes ago, the Flames made a choice.
Oh.
What choice do you believe that the Flames made?
It's either Brad Treliving's not re-signing or they fired Daryl Sutter. I'm gonna say they chose to keep Daryl.
Okay, and Jesse, do you know the answer to this question? Have you seen this?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Well, I saw it come up on my own.
Maddie, do you have any predictions?
Now, Steve, what would you, if you were part of the 30 million owners of the Calgary Flames, and there are many of them.
I'm not paying my taxes. You're paying my taxes. You're buying my building.
But I own it.
But I own it. You buy it, I own it, and make all the money.
What would you do? Would you retain Treliving, who I believe is the longest tenured general manager in Canada, 10 years?
And I'm going to make him an intern so he can work for free.
Or would you have fired Sutter?
Well, if my opinion mattered and I wasn't one of the dudes who currently works there, I would have reluctantly made the decision to get rid of Daryl Sutter, and I say reluctantly because now I'm on the hook to pay that dude for the next 2 years.
Right. The Flames and Brad Treliving have mutually agreed to part ways. Now
That's the easy one.
Don Maloney,
The
who
easy
is
one financially.
Don Maloney has a long history in hockey. He has been promoted to head of hockey ops and will hold the position of interim general manager. I guess he'll be handling the draft and that sort of thing.
That's probably the way to go.
So, yeah, we'll see. He has been a scout, or was hired as a scout with the Calgary Flames in 2016. So, he was GM of the year in 2010. People forget that. He was the first winner of it. He was, I guess, because the Coyotes did really, really well that year. And he also was the vice president of head of player personnel for Glenn Sather and the Rangers during Sather's tenure there, which was a long one, 96 to 2007. I forgot he was there that long. What?
I don't know how you solve that locker room being as miserable as it was.
Well, very least you need to move on from the coach.
And they didn't.
Yet. They didn't yet. I feel like they will.
I'd be surprised if they got rid of both.
Really?
Well, it's like you said, it feels like a choice.
Okay.
This is like if in 2018 the Leafs kept Babcock and fired Dubas.
Right.
Or 2019, sorry. Or was it 2018? Doesn't matter. It's pre-COVID. There's no time.
It was 2019.
There you go. Thank you.
The fall of or winter of 2019, they fired Babcock.
Right.
And then COVID happened.
And then the world, yeah, there. That's
how
why
I remember it, yeah.
God, you know what? Before COVID, that season sucked.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking terrible. That's why I was so stressed about the Leafs at the beginning of the season. I was like, they remind me so much of that team. Anyway, not to talk about the
didn't
Leafs.
make the playoffs.
Shut up.
On Friday, we lost 3 head coaches.
Brad Larson.
Yep. Columbus Blue Jackets.
Peter Laviolette.
That's correct. Of the Washington Capitals. The easiest one is the one I'm surprised you didn't start with.
Ex-Leaf.
Ex-Leaf. Player?
Ex-Edmonton coach. Ex-Marlies coach.
Did Dallas Eakins get fired?
Yeah.
He got fired.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That counts as ex-Marlies coach counts as ex-Leaf, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's
He played for the Leafs.
He was a Leafs player.
He played for the Leafs too.
Oh, he played for the Leafs?
Yeah. He was like
talking about Marlies
an
coach.
8th, 9th defenseman, but yes, he definitely played for the Leafs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know he was the guy who caught Teemu Solani's glove when he threw it? Yes, I did, because you've already told me 20 times. Sorry.
I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that.
Oh, well, there you go.
Peter Laviolette, gone from the Capitals in 220 regular season games coached. He had a record of 115 wins, 78 regulation losses, and 27 losses in extra time. It just seems like the Capitals have not been the same since Barry Trotz left.
They won the Stanley Cup. So.
Yeah.
But not, I get, yes, of
They
course.
won the Stanley Cup and then fired their head coach.
Well, they let him walk.
Yeah, agreed to not give him the money he deserved.
I mean, listen, he must be a bit of a pain because Lou let him go pretty quick, too, after a lot of success. Maybe Barry Trotz is a pain in the buttski, but...
Did he let him go? I feel like it was mutual.
You think it was mutual?
Well, because then he immediately became like the hottest free agent and just chose to not coach for a year.
Right. And then ended up, now he's running the Preds.
Yeah. Right? So maybe, I mean, what's Lou going to give him his job?
And by the way, I don't think being a pain in the butt ski is necessarily a bad thing. I just hope everybody knows that. Sometimes you got principles, you got to stick to them. Like that's greatness. usually means some sort of they're a little difficult to deal with because they like things their way. What a shock. Dallas Eakins, man, when the Leafs and the Ducks played earlier this year, and I'm not talking about the 7-2 Ducks win or whatever it was.
They came back from 3-1 down.
Yeah, it was
that
so
broke
stupid.
my brain for a little bit. I was like, oh man, they're fucked.
When the Leafs played them again, Dallas Eakins looked defeated. He did coach 4 seasons for the Ducks, 100 wins, 147 losses, and 12 extra time losses. But they were supposed to be bad this year. I didn't think that. Like when your team can be bad, but also can be structured and have like a vibe to them. Like the Montreal Canadiens this year, not a great team,
Decent vibes.
lot of injuries, good vibes,
Ducks,
right?
horrible vibes.
Like
It's weird to be in a position where your GM sets you up to lose and you lose, and then you get fired for losing.
I guess they just wanted to see a little more fight in the losses.
Players aren't good enough.
No, well, I know that, but
they played unstructured. And I said this earlier, and a Ducks fan reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, can you stop being so hard on the Ducks?" I'm like, "What do you want me to say, man? They're terrible."
You know who else was terrible on paper, but they at least fought. Like they got their ass kicked a lot of nights, but they had some upsets. The Blackhawks, like Luke Richardson, did a good job with that team. The Ducks didn't have those performances.
I think the collection of players in Chicago throughout the season was so much different than the collection of guys in Anaheim.
Probably better.
You had guys like Seth Jones and Jonathan Taves and Max Domi for a lot of the season,
Yep.
and Patrick Kane when he was still there, you know?
Some of the young guys.
And I feel like Anaheim had just a chasm of no one.
What if we've discovered Dallas Eakins shouldn't be an NHL coach, and he is a premium AHL coach? What if he's the TJ Brennan of coaches?
He's a 4A player.
Yeah, like what? Because he had tremendous success with the Toronto Marlies. He had people forget the reason he got the job in Anaheim is he was unreal with the San Diego Gulls, and goes to the Ducks and they're fucking awful, and with a lot of the same players too that he had in San Diego. And you look at that and you're like, oh, this is going to be a John Cooper situation where the team is going to graduate with him. It doesn't always work out that way. Like maybe he should just be a really well-paid AHL coach.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong.
Good
with
living.
It. Yeah, absolutely. Except for the taking the bus everywhere kind of sucks.
Well, he did make a commercial about it.
Yeah.
I feel like people outside of Toronto don't know that.
Can you say that?
Yeah,
Can you talk about
so they had a commercial for the Marlies, and it was heavily regarding the Marlies are the farm system for the Leafs. Yeah. They're not just some other team.
Every game is a tryout, I believe, was the thing.
Every game is a tryout, but he does this rousing speech where he's like, "Do you want to be taking a bus to Peoria? Or a cab to the Air Canada Centre?" And I mean, the answer was obviously, I want to be in a cab to the Air Canada Centre. Or if you're Mikhail Grabovski, you drive yourself, realize you're not going to make it, and abandon your car on the side of the road.
That commercial used to play every day.
Yeah,
like
I remember
all the
that.
time, constantly, 24/7.
That was, I want to say that was a Brian Burke creation.
I think it was.
I think it was because the Marlies hadn't really been there that long.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of knew they were going to rebuild a little bit, and they wanted to say, listen, farm team, a lot of graduates. Because that 2012 team that went to the final with Dallas Eakins, I want to say had like next to no actual graduates.
Yeah,
But they were very good.
They were very good.
Scott
but
Clemenson, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No, Scrivezna.
Oh, it was Scrivezna?
Scrivezna, baby.
Oh, I thought Clemenson was on that team.
He might have been on the team, but it was Scrivezna starting.
All right. Last one. I always love when fans warn the team that this is a bad idea, and the team goes, no, it's great. And then the fans go, it really isn't. And from the get, as soon as Torts left Columbus, the worry among Columbus fans is that Brad Larson would take over. And when he was actually hired,
I thought you were talking about Torts.
When he was actually hired, no, I'm not talking about Torts. When he was hired, people were like, "This is a terrible idea," and it turned out that it was a terrible idea. The team was not good. He 62 wins, 85 regulation losses, and another 16 extra time losses. 59 points this year, at least in the East. They can't have expected to be this bad.
What were they supposed to have been?
Structured. I would say Larson lost his job because they had no fight either. Playing the Columbus Blue Jackets used to be a pain in the ass. They would slip into 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th every year.
Yeah.
But it was a pain in the ass playing them. They were not a pain in the ass.
You know what they had that this team didn't? Centers. They played a winger as their top line center. They shut down Zach Werenski early in the year. What did they expect?
So this is my question to you because listen, Brad Larson may have been cut out for this, may not have been, whatever. Blue Jackets fans were not thrilled. I remember that. What I do want to ask is usually a general manager gets one bullet to make the coaching change. This guy's had 2. And show me, I still think you had to move Pierre-Luc Dubois because he just didn't want to be there anymore. And getting Line A in return's pretty sweet if you can get Line A to convert and you can keep him healthy. Signing Johnny Gaudreau last summer, what a shock.
Cool.
But in all honesty, since they beat the Leafs in the play-in round, what progression have we seen from the Columbus Blue Jackets? Like, frankly,
none.
If they had done it the way that they should have done it, which is any team that's currently in the playoffs is in the playoffs, and we don't need a play-in round, the Columbus Blue Jackets would not have been there. And I don't understand why Jarmo Kekalainen gets a pass. Oh, he's a tough negotiator with RFAs. Ooh, you mean he's a tough negotiator when the cards are stacked in his favor? Like, I like Jarmo, but I also think it's fair to criticize this person. And he has made some extraordinarily questionable decisions.
What if he made the right one, and it's the sort of thing you can only know if you're the general manager, which is a cop-out and not fun as an answer. But the reason I say that is, we look at Brad Larson in Columbus and we say, what was he supposed to do? And we look at Dallas Eakins in Anaheim and we go, what was he supposed to do? I'm thinking of a coach. He had a team that had 47 or 48 points in the standings.
Mm-hmm.
And that same head coach went on to win the Stanley Cup with that team. You know who I'm talking about?
Who?
Jared Bednar. Jared Bednar with the Avalanche was the coach of that miserable, sad sack, hunk of shit team that could not do a thing, had no goaltending, a wild amount of injuries, a Nathan McKinnon that had such a bad season it would go on to lead to one of the best contracts in the cap era. What was it about his performance on that miserable team that made them say, that's the guy and he's staying? And what was it about Brad Larson and Dallas Eakins that said, nah, we're done? That to me is fascinating. Like, I want to know what about Jared Bednar made them bet on him.
It's a good question.
I know. That's why I asked it.
Interesting.
If Jarmo gets Connor Bedard, like, everything's fixed.
Oh, anyone. Anyone. I partly want him to go to one of the teams with, like, single-digit odds of getting him. It's just more fun.
I want to see him in Montreal.
By
That's
the way,
what I'm hoping for.
Well, watch him go to one of the teams with, like, the bottom 5 odds and watch how fast they fix and change that lottery system.
So like
Watch
there's even more percentages for the bottom teams?
Lightning fast. Yeah. They change that. Oh, because, all the GMs that have the highest odds are going to cry and shit their pants and get on the phone.
The only way to fix the NHL draft lottery system, though, as it currently stands, is to have a play-in round. As soon as teams start getting eliminated from the playoffs,
you start counting the points up for the draft.
Exactly. That's the only way to fix this and keep teams competitive.
So on your elimination date, then your points start counting up towards the number one pick.
So the worst teams in the league would still have the best chance at it because they'd have the most games because they'd be first across the fuck we're eliminated line. Yeah. And that's what you have to call it. That's the legal term. Fuck we're eliminated.
Fuck we're eliminated.
That and then you start winning and so at least then if people are going, oh well, that team was sort of tanking to get eliminated quickly, and then they started winning. Well, then they started being competitive. Is that bad? Is that bad for fans that they're competitive?
I'm just picturing the team that's 12th in the East buying at the deadline, and then going, "Oh, we're 11th. Yes, we're 10th. Yes, we're 9th. Yes, we're 8th. Fuck."
Yeah, no, but they were eliminated.
No, you're eliminated from the draft lottery, but you're in the playoffs. You won the opportunity to get murdered in the first round. Unless you don't.
Way better.
With that system, you could, in theory, load up at the deadline and accidentally win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
What if a team loads up at the deadline and then sits players until they're eliminated?
Oh, fucking the Dallas Mavericks? Isn't that what they did?
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about, because in Adam's system, you got to win games at the end. So I'm saying Montreal trades for a bunch of guys at the trade deadline. When they're eliminated, and then they sit them. They healthy scratch all the guys they trade for. They trade for Timo Meier, and then they scratch them until they're eliminated, like late March, let's say, and then they start playing Timo Meier so that they can get points.
That feels like exactly the sort of thing Kyle Dubas would do.
Yeah.
Only to get a call from the league the next day saying you can't do that. Even though it's well within the rules, you're not allowed. Yeah, no, we're mad at you.
There's too many funny shenanigans.
I think a child should run the league. It'd be funny.
By the way,
very
just
funny.
a quick note on the Flames. Frank Saravalli tweeted just a minute ago. Early indication is that Daryl Sutter will remain as the Flames head coach for now. Fair to say that fact played a role on whether or not Treliving would remain. So Treliving was likely offered a chance to remain, but didn't want to work with Sutter.
Oh,
Well,
no.
yeah, it's weird when a cantankerous coach shits on every move you make in the media and then loses, and it's your fault. Oh, man, sign me up for that shit.
If Dubas doesn't hit the open market as a free agent, given what Treliving pulled off last year, you have to think that teams like the Penguins are going to be all over a guy like that.
I don't know. I wonder what he would want. Like, as a GM, what do you want? Do you want a team like the Flames who should be good? Like, they just should be good. And there's not maybe that much work to do? Or do you want to go to a team where, yeah, they kind of suck right now, but you completely can rebuild it in your image?
I think I would want that. Because if you got a team like the Flames, there's clearly a problem that is not easily solvable. Otherwise, the last guy would have been able to solve it.
Because I don't think money's the problem.
No.
I think power is the problem.
Yes.
And he's going to want to, if Dubas were to leave Toronto, or anyone leaves their team situation, they're going to want more power. Like, okay, I got this guy, Brendan Shanahan. He's always breathing down my neck. Unfortunately, the way the Calgary Flames are set up, I don't think you go to Calgary to get power. It's not available.
No. Agreed.
The coach has more power than you right now.
I think you go to Calgary to just take the job and hope you can survive the first couple of years, and then maybe Sutter retires.
Penguins?
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of interesting.
Interesting.
What
We'll
a
see.
mess 12 months have been in Calgary. From the high of the first game of the Oilers, and since that moment, everybody leaving, and then the high again of the trades, and you think the team is better when you have Uyghur and Kadri and Huberdeau, and everything's just been downhill since the start.
He went from the biggest bum GM in the NHL to a genius in 24 hours. And now he's gone.
I gotta say, I think it's if you're a Calgary Flames player and you're reading that today, that's got to be a bit depressing, especially if your name is Kadri, Uyghur, or Huberdeau, because those are very clearly the GM guys, and the GM's not there.
And with those contracts, remember, you're here forever.
That's right.
I would probably live somewhere forever for $10.5 million a year.
Would you be able to handle the having a bad boss?
I think I can handle a lot for $10.5 million
I
a
can
year.
eat a lot of shit for that.
Like Adam, you would know. Is it good to be rich in Calgary?
Yes, it is actually. Yeah,
He lived there.
Low taxes and low property value. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
If Alan Walsh walked up to me one day and he said, "You know what? $10.5 million for Calgary," I'd probably listen to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably not a bad idea.
Could you do your Alan Walsh impression, but you've signed Jesse to a big contract in Calgary?
No, I need to work on it still.
Really?
I'm not
Yeah.
happy with it.
No. Okay, fine.
No, I need to work. No, I want to. It needs to debut at the right moment.
All right. Fair enough.
The next time a big Alan Walsh client signs.
Yeah, I need to work on it.
But get it ready for that moment.
Oh, I will.
We're coming up. July 1st is a couple months away.
I know.
Okay.
I need to do it to his face in Nashville. And just have him, man, what a warm personality and what a dagger face sometimes.
Alan?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
When he's got that Gustavo Fring.
Yeah, no, you don't. He's the best, but I wouldn't cross him. I wouldn't.
He's just got that.
He's good. He's got good. That's a good negotiation tactic too. Your ability to. There are certain people when they're negotiating where they have the ability to turn the room to ice just with their emotions.
Yeah, he just terrifies me. But I love him. Nice guy.
Jack Eichel will play his first playoff game this week.
Let's go!
That will be tomorrow night, and there's a really good piece in The Athletic about it, but it talks about sort of how he changed his game. So first off, Bruce Cassidy had him playing the least amount of time he's ever played in his entire career on average. 1846 of ice time is his average.
We'll say if it stays that way.
He set a new career high for takeaways with 47 and defensive point shares, 2.5. The Golden Knights outscored opponents with him on the ice at even strength, 56-35.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And
Is plus 21 good?
and really, he admits that it was Cassidy's want to build a four-line team that was the hardest thing because it meant that he wasn't like in Buffalo. They didn't have a choice. It's like we got to roll Jack out there.
Feels like Cassidy's performance this year has gone completely disregarded because of how good the Bruins have been without him.
Well, and especially because of the way he was fired. Like we all forget, they told him he was going to stay. And then a couple weeks later, Don Sweeney drives to his house and goes, Bruce, listen, we're going to actually fire him.
No. He said, hey, I need to use your washroom. And then he fired him.
Is that actually true?
No.
That was the gag on the show.
Yeah, no,
he did an hour on it.
I was like,
I don't remember that.
I was like, think about it. Like, what,
never remember
and
that.
now you got to live in that house, and you're like, I was fired in that chair.
That's true. That's true.
I let them use my toilet. Like, how far is his house from the? Oh.
You want a beer? You want a coffee?
No, I don't think we're going to be staying very long. So listen.
Yeah.
You're
wild.
fired,
Absolutely wild.
I've never been fired at my house, so I don't know what that's like.
I hope you never have to find out.
The same.
The other piece of news I want to hit, and then we're going to get to Jesse's super cool trivia game.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this.
Very excited.
All year.
I didn't know anything about
Win 82 games for this bad boy.
that.
Listen.
No, what?
I thought you were talking about the preseason predictions.
No.
No.
it's something else.
Yeah,
No, we
something
can
else.
we can do that in the press conference.
Yeah.
for the preseason
After
predictions.
the trivia game.
Yeah. So there's nothing that I like more right now than
Being rich.
watching the Sens implode.
Oh.
Now I was really nice to the Sens leading up to this year.
No, you
But
weren't.
their team, yes, I was.
No, you weren't.
Go back and look at the tape. I was like, you know what? I want the Sens to be good. I want them to take on the least, whatever.
Adam,
but now that they're semi-good,
preseason this year was when the Sens fans made the argument about their top six versus the least.
that
top
was
six.
July last year. Actually, July.
So you weren't
before they
nice
played
to
again.
them since last July.
There. Okay, so last season. Going into last season, I was always super nice about the Sens. Want them to be good again. Want there to be a Battle of Ontario again. But when they started pulling that shit, I was like, okay, done with you. And it seems that Alex DeBrincat might be done with the Sens.
Interesting. You got tired of the 45-minute commute to the arena.
Yeah, exactly.
Half joking.
Bruce Garriock tweeted about this. He works for the Ottawa Sun, obviously. Has followed the beat for the Sens for years. He said that the Sens want DeBrincat to sign a long-term contract. He's got one more year. They aren't sure if he wants to stay. He wants to see where ownership goes before they make a decision, and he has told them that he will let them know whether or not he'll sign by the draft, and that is as of today. He said this.
Now, is this DeBrincat? So I'm actually going to help put Sens fans' minds at ease.
Don't.
Which is counter.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't
you
do
know
it.
what? Maybe I should just
They don't deserve it.
move on.
I'm kidding. Of course they do. Go ahead.
How often these days do you see RFAs go, you know what? I love it here. Here you go. And they just sign it with no fuss. They just sign an
Just
extension
David Pasternak that I can remember.
But that's super not no fuss. Like, he made, what is it, 11 and a half now?
No, I mean the last David Pasternak contract 6 years ago.
Oh,
he just was like, I don't care.
So
Sign
that's
it.
6 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like-
not lately.
I think, people look at the Leafs and they say, oh, Dubas, he fucked it up and fucked it up for that whole team. What if he fucked it up for the whole league? Because, these players and definitely their agents, they're not stupid.
Mm-hmm. They're seeing it.
So what should DeBrincat do?
He should play hardball. Hey,
Stützle signed for this number, so you're definitely going to sign for less than that, right, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm going to use every path to power that I have. And as a restricted free agent, I have less power, less agency than an unrestricted free agent. But there are ways of bending reality to make it so that you're basically a UFA. Now, not everyone can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull a power move as a 14 goal scorer.
Sure you can.
And your team goes,
oh my gosh.
You stink, I don't care.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And there are teams who have tried to go to war with their teams and blinked and lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is Alex DeBrincat.
27 goals this year. Minus 31.
Wow. So that's really shit compared to what he is usually accustomed to.
Yeah.
And if I'm Alex DeBrincat, I'm like, well, you spent all these assets to get me.
Mm-hmm.
Losing me, you're going to look like a moron because you had me for 1 year and it wasn't even good.
Uh-huh.
So I think I'm just going to ask for whatever I want and you're going to give it to me.
Well, what was interesting is that I saw a little bit of Sens fans and Sens media turning on him towards the end of the year, including Sens homer number 1, Mark Mathot, saying that if DeBrincat wants to make that kind of money, he's got to drive his own line, and he's not.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Not wrong. Or at very least, I don't know if people expect Pasternak to drive his own line or just be a destroyer of worlds on a really, really good line. He doesn't have to because he's with 2 other guys who can drive a line.
But he could.
He probably could. I'm willing to bet he could. Fascinating with DeBrincat. I don't really think they can lose him. They're gonna get shafted on value compared to what they paid for him.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's kind of strong arming you. Here's what I think ends up happening is he stays. But it's April. It's mid-April.
Yeah.
Why? Don't make it seem like it's going to be a lovely, friendly process.
No, it's going to be
You
ugly.
have 2 months to be a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Here. Why should this contract be signed by him before the Stanley Cup is awarded?
That is a very good question. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
I think he's doing the right thing in terms of negotiation.
Yep.
I think eventually everything's going to get resolved in the summer sometime, and you'll sign this deal because it makes sense.
Oh, and the fact that I'm not staying got leaked. Oh, no.
Oh, maybe I'll get more money now. That would suck.
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into the Sens fans, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Other than he's sticking to his number, obviously.
It's difficult because the Sens aren't in the postseason, and right now, every fan base who's happy is just like, hey, my team's in the postseason. That's all we're focused on. There's no contract stuff. So for Sens fans, this is it. We could only freak out about DeBrincat leaving.
Been there.
I feel
it's
you.
The worst.
Right? Your team doesn't make the playoffs, and now one of your star players wants to leave. It sucks. But I think this is all good. This is what negotiation is. Yeah. This is an agent who's going to argue with the GM for months, and it might not get resolved for a long time. But I think in the end, sign the long-term deal.
NHL players have the least power of most professional athletes. They definitely have less than the NBA. And this new crop of younger guys, 25 and down, DeBrincat's probably, I think he was a 2016 pick. They're figuring out with their agents and advisors and everything how to take that power back.
Yep.
Dubois has, that dude's about to play a playoff game for the Winnipeg Jets, but he's a Montreal Canadian, already. And DeBrincat he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing to get more money. That dude played with Seth Jones. You think he wants less than what he's getting?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
How long was Austin Matthews' contract?
5 years.
You don't think Kyle Dubas wanted an 8-year contract?
Yeah, but
Matthews said, no, I hold all of the power. Do you know who I am? I'm Austin Matthews. I'm signing a 5-year deal or go away.
And I thought it was funny how many people were like, well, that's fucking stupid. No, it's what he asked for.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then don't sign it. Oh, okay.
Right.
There's one player on the team who can ask for a deal like that, and it's Austin.
Yeah.
And I think now there's two. I think if Mitch
yeah.
Marner was up, I think Mitch Marner pretty much says, this is what I want, give it to me or I'm gone. Especially going into UFA, right? Like the way Mitch played this year, he's the best player on the team.
He was definitely their best, most consistent player all year.
All the way.
Yeah.
All the way. The other thing that Pierre Dorion has mentioned is that their big goaltender acquisition this past summer, Cam Talbot, will absolutely not be back. He said
use those words?
He said we had a good discussion. No, he didn't use those words.
I think what he actually said is there's no fucking way I'm bringing Cam
It was
Talbot
a bad
back.
trade from the beginning. I took so much shit for saying it was a bad trade, and guess what? It was a bad trade.
Yeah, no, we're signing a fucking shooter tutor and putting them in instead. No,
We had a good discussion. Not that I want to get into details. We offered a 1 year in January. They wanted a 2 year. No progress was made. Not that I want to put everything out there, but I think the fans have the right to know how the process goes. And we were so far apart. We wanted one. They wanted two. We were so far apart on anything that we knew pretty quickly that this is where we were going to go.
Ooh,
and
that's a little odd that he put that out there.
Talbot played only. I paraphrase. We were so far apart on anything that we knew quickly, as in they knew very quickly that this was not going to go anywhere. Remember, Cam Talbot is 35 years old. He was traded for Philip Gustafsson.
Yeah. Oof, Maroon.
Oof, Maroon.
That's a bad one.
I'm telling you guys, it was a bad trade. Referred to at the time as a calculated risk. He played 36 games this year. His record was 17-14-2, a .898 save percentage. Anton Forsberg will be a part of the goaltending lineup next year, and that is all we know. That's rough.
What I'm trying to look up right now is Talbot's agent. It's listed on Puckpedia as Jordan Newman and George Bezos. Not Bezos. Bezos.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's pronounced Bezos.
Is that your Bezos laugh?
They signed the contract on a fucking dick-shaped spaceship. And I don't think he has any other Sens clients. Because, that is... I don't know. That's kind of sensitive information.
I think that he's trying to say... I think he's trying to tell people this isn't my fault. When he made the trade, which it was his fault.
Was Mr. McGuire was still there though, right?
Pierre, no, he's gone.
When that trade happened.
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
Once Eugene passed away,
Yeah.
Eugene Melnyk passed away, then Pierre McGuire was gone pretty quickly afterwards.
And that trade happened after that.
That's right. The draft.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing about this summer is we saw what Pierre Dorion looked like untethered.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, he was wondering the timing of it.
Yeah. That was all draft day stuff.
It's kind of neat. It feels like his agent actually kind of specializes in goalies.
Oh, neat.
Because they have,
still just
sorry. Well, it caught my attention. I couldn't help but notice they have Jonathan Quick, Thatcher Demko, Cam Talbot, Casey DeSmith, Scott Wedgwood, Spencer Knight. It's kind of a lot. It's a high percentage of their clients.
There you go. I want to mention one quick thing before we get to Jesse's game.
You hate the Sens?
Yeah, no, I don't hate this. You know what? Why don't we just get into Jesse's thing? I have to confirm this thing, so it's not going to.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna unplug my camera 5.
Is it from truefacts.org?
Is it
No,
Fact-
it's
the
not.
Fact
It's
Boys?
It's not. It's
Factboys.com. All right, Steve, I don't want you cheating because you're regarded as the czar of Leafs knowledge, obviously.
Wow.
The entire internet says.
Is that the title? Okay.
If Steve Dangle doesn't know something about the Leafs, then nobody does. No. I was just saying I was unplugging. So Steve can't cheat. Yeah, no. Definitely keep recording. Steve Dangle. This year, the Toronto Maple Leafs led the league in players played for them. I don't know if you know that fact.
I didn't.
They had 47 total players ice in a game for them.
Jesus.
I want you. That's number one league. No other team had more players. Right. That includes players, forwards, defensemen, and goalies. Okay. I want to know if you can name all 47 NHL players who dressed for the Toronto Maple Leafs this season.
Okay, so this is an important distincting question.
Yes.
I'm not even going to look in your direction.
No, please don't, because I can't turn my laptop all the way.
If someone dressed for the Leafs and did not play for them, does that count?
It does not.
So, like,
this
Keith
is everybody.
Petruzzelli would not count.
This is everybody who has a GP1 next to their name.
Okay.
On Hockey Reference or Hockey DB or whatever stat site you want to go to.
Okay.
You got to name all 47.
Okay, we'll start with the four.
No. Adam Wylde. Adam Wylde.
Yes.
With your season seats.
Yes.
You've obviously seen all of these guys play in person if they play
all of them. Every single one. I'm basically a scout.
How should this game work? Is it unlimited time to get 47? Do we get a time limit on this?
That's
all
a lot
47.
of names.
But you'll be surprised that you'll be able to cut down 20. You'll be real quick.
Like 3 minutes?
3 minutes. Okay, Adam, what do you think? 47 guys.
Man, I always like limited time because limited time makes it more intense.
I can do 3 minutes.
You want to do 3 minutes?
Do you think less?
I was gonna say 2.
Oh no! Oh,
Let me try.
No,
let me try.
Oh, what's up, Maddie?
What about if we see who can do it the fastest?
Oh.
I can set a
No, I think it's gotta be Steve.
It's gotta be Steve.
Two.
Yeah.
I've been
Steve's got way
challenged.
better brain for this than I do.
Adam will get like
we all
5
know
minutes.
I'd fail.
Yeah.
So I need to get like a guy per like 2 seconds or something.
I'll give you 3. Because you said 3. I don't want anybody in comments to get mad at us, me, Adam and I, for limiting you into that minute.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay, done.
Cut in the middle.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
I'll get the stopwatch going. We'll make sure it actually runs this time. Remember that one time it didn't run?
Yes.
Because I closed my phone and it stopped. Or I closed the browser tab. All right. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. Now, I'm going to be crossing them off as you go.
Okay.
So I got to make sure I got to find all the guys as you go. Let me know when you are ready.
No, you do it.
Oh, okay.
You say,
okay.
Here we go.
All right. 10, 9,
That's too much.
8,
Just say 3, 2,
7.
1. All right.
6 is the Jeff Bezos space launch. 5, 4.
Who's ready to fuck the sky and the
3.
Bezos?
Adam, can we get
Bezos
a
ship.
giant laugh?
Of course.
This may never
You'll never
start.
catch me now, Superman.
2, 1, go!
Ilya Samsonov, Matt Murray, Eric Shelgren, Joseph Wall. Those are the 4 goaltenders. Michael Bunting, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner. John Tavares, Ryan O'Reilly, William Nylander. Alex Kerfoot, Nola Chari, Kelly Yarncroke. Zach Aston Reese, David Kampf, Sam Lafferty, Wayne Simmons, Matthew Nyes, Luke Shen, Morgan Riley, TJ Brody, Jake McCabe, Jake Muzzin?
He's on the list.
Yeah, I forgot that he actually played for the Leafs this year. Rasmus Sandin, Timothy Liljegren, Justin Hall, Connor Timmins, Philip Kral,
that's a good one.
Mac Hollowell, Victor Mete, Jordy Ben. Oh man. I know there was another guy who fucking. Oh man. Okay, Alex Steves, Simeon Durargachintsev, Pontus Holmberg, Bobby McMahon. How many guys I got left? Oh, Joey Anderson.
Yep.
How many guys I got left?
I'm
Pierre Engvall.
still crossing off.
Pierre Engvall.
Yep.
And I feel it in my loins. I'm forgetting someone, and it's a defenseman. I'm almost positive. Did I say Alex Kerfoot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to help me out, man. How many's left?
3.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
No.
I think.
Come
Yeah,
on.
I think 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said Steve's. I'm trying to think of the
You're gonna be mad.
Marley's. I know I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
I'm always mad. The Yarn Croak, I think I said. Zach Aston Reese.
You got 8 seconds.
Nicola Obey-Kubel.
Yeah.
Oh no! Nicola Obey-Kubel. Who have I forgot?
This one you're gonna be really upset at. It was
It's probably a regular, right?
it was fairly recently. He only played 1 game. He only got in for 55 seconds. Fuck! Jet Alexander. No! that was a big one on the list. You had Radim Zanora.
Oh, Radim Zohorna.
Did you say him? I didn't cross him off because I think you forgot him, right?
I didn't say him.
Yeah, you didn't have him. You didn't have Dryden Hunt.
Oh man, I didn't have Dryden Hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, Dennis Malgin.
Dennis Malgin was
Shit!
up there. You had more than.
I stink.
You had a little more than 3. I'm going through the down list. Yeah. You're short. You're about 40.
Oh, I'm sad.
Nicky Bob.
Nick Robertson. I'm
Nicky
like, who the
Bob
hell's
is
Nicky
another
Bob?
name.
Oh, man.
You didn't
This
say.
season has been forever. Someone
It has felt long, but I think it's because it's been a normal season, and we've had 2 shortened summers in a row.
Philip Demas, I think his name, on Twitter.
Oh, yeah,
he said something along the lines of, "You will not believe the amount of games Eric Källgren played this season." Do you know how many games he played? Don't look it up.
What, for the Leafs?
Yeah.
5?
I have the
10.
Yeah.
Wow.
He played 10 games in the NHL. He played more games than Joseph Woll. That's impossible.
Wow.
Those two combined for 17 games. That's impossible.
It's been a long year.
Fuck.
Yeah, you missed quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
right.
okay. That was hard.
That was
Yeah.
pretty hard.
Can I tell you one quick story? I've been quickly researching it as we've been doing the show because I saw it pop up and I'm like, oh my god, this can't be real, and it is.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the New York Times did an interview with Stephen A. Smith,
Okay.
and in that interview with Stephen A. Smith, the question says, and it's sort of like a question jumping off of another thing, like crab rangoon and things of that nature.
What?
What?
Now, do you remember the tweet?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a David J. Roth tweet. He posted it in June 2012, but it didn't go viral until 2015.
Right.
Okay.
And can you read this tweet out?
P.F. Chang's waiter recites specials. Stephen A. Smith acts surprised. To me, that's preposterous. Crab rangoon, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Now, it's a funny tweet, right?
Yeah.
So the New York Times fucking asked him about it.
Oh, fun.
And
Love that.
and I was trying to find the article, and so when the interviewer says like crab rangoon and things of that nature, and Stephen A. Smith just says no, and then
what did he say before that?
okay,
the
I'll pull it up. Hang on.
like what is the context of the question?
Stephen A. Smith had a very funny tweet yesterday because he has another famous tweet where he says, "Take a look, y'all," and instead of it showing a picture, it just says like fucking IMG 4388.jpg.
Yes.
So he quote tweeted that and he said Netflix right now. Hashtag Love is Blind
good.
because
Love is Blind
they
live
screwed up
stream.
the live stream.
Hold on, I'm pulling it.
Those guys never better buy sports rights.
Man,
Can't fucking air a live stream.
That was tough.
Oh yeah.
That was Mrs. Dangle beside herself.
Maybe you make sure your technology works before broadcasting it to millions of people.
Well, and here's the thing. I was talking about this on Virgin Radio this morning. When you do a live show, it's very hard. And the Chris Rock show was pretty straightforward. Intro, Chris comes on, music, and then Chris talks for an hour, and then extra music, you're done. But when you're doing a reality show reunion, you're going in with graphics, you're talking, you've got probably 10 to 15 different people on stage who got to be mic'd up properly. And then you got to go to like a whole bunch of throwback clips and graphics in those as well. Star wipes, all the other shit that Maddie's got to do. It's crazy. It's a lot.
Maddie, star wipe us.
Star wipe us, Maddie. Yeah. Okay, so here's the New York Times article. And
Let's go.
hey, Steven, can we pick a trivial subject and debate it? This is midway through the interview. They're having a really good interview. And Steven says, well, it depends on what it is. And the interview goes, turkey sandwiches. They're bland and they only taste as good as their toppings. Steven says, they taste good. I like turkey and Swiss cheese on a toasted bun with mayo and black pepper. And the guy says, no mustard? He goes, no mustard. I'm not a mustard fan. I might try a little with a hot dog, but I prefer sauerkraut. And then they go into a thing about sauerkraut. And he says, what tastes good to some people might not taste good to other people. And then the interviewer goes, like crab rangoon and things of that nature. And Steven goes, no. So then the interviewer goes, hey, that was a callback. There was a tweet that went viral of you a couple of years ago that joked about you and crab rangoon. And Stephen Smith said, I did not know that. And then he said,
shut up.
And then the interviewer says, but you've commented on it before.
I've heard him talk about that.
And then Stephen A. Smith said, I commented about crab rangoon? And he said, no, you commented about the tweet.
Yeah.
Stephen says, I don't recall commenting about crab rangoon ever in my life, ever. You have to prove it to me because I'm inclined to believe you fabricated the story. So they're on a Zoom link. So they bring the tweet up and they show Stephen and he says, hold on. We have a Stephen A. Smith, the viral crab rangoon tweet. I have no recollection of that whatsoever. Anyway, long story short, then they linked to an interview where he actually was shown this in 2018.
First of all,
or 2017.
Pre-COVID doesn't count.
Yeah,
USA Today, they had an interview with him and they showed him the viral tweet.
Stephen A. Smith has said an unfathomable amount of words.
Oh yeah.
Unfathomable.
And what's amazing is that even after all those words, he's still extremely quotable.
Like I don't expect him to remember them all.
No way. Absolutely not. And of all the things that have been published about, like they also said, Smith once believed an Onion story about him was real.
That's incredible. He's just done so much.
Yeah, he has.
Imagine if you did so much more than perhaps the average person and almost all of it's documented. How are you supposed to remember all that? Like people are definitely going to quote that. Hey, do you remember when you said this on national television to millions of people? No.
The reason I brought that up was because we had such a fun time when that tweet went viral.
Oh, it was awesome.
But I also wanted to bring it up because I want to encourage everybody, and people are gonna roll their eyes at me. Read his book. Read his book. Once the playoffs are done and you got time to read that guy's book. It's spectacular. He came from nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He was he wrote for his newspaper after blowing out his knee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that.
Oh yeah, but there's more to it than that. It's great. It's a great book.
What? They didn't just put him on national TV after that?
I know, it's wild.
Your college paper rocks, Steven.
Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
When I finish Hop on Pop by Dr. Seuss, I'll get to Stephen A. Smith. I've been working my way through it for a couple months now.
Tough read.
I'm getting there.
Bit of a roller coaster.
Getting there.
Bit of a roller coaster. From Red Shark Pack in our Discord, preseason predictions, final standings.
Let's go.
So we did our preseason predictions, obviously. Steve wins overall with an average deviation, I don't even know what that means, of 1.313.
How far off your picks were from the actual standings?
Oh,
so on average, I was off by 1.3 picks. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
1.3 places
in the standings. Yeah.
And 10 perfect picks. You nailed 10 of them.
Out
Jesse,
of 32.
second with an average deviation of 1.375. 8
very
perfect
close.
picks. And in third, me, with a 1.438. So I had 5 perfect picks. Of note, the Flames were by far the most disappointing team for all 3 guys, as well as Jesse had a nearly perfect Central. If Jesse had moved the Jets ahead of the Preds and Blues, he would have got the Central perfect.
Would never do that.
I had the
Screw
Preds
Dave.
second in the Central.
So it's so funny.
Bad.
So the best division prediction belongs to Jesse. So does the worst. All 3 of us were terrible on the Pacific Division because of the Flames, but also Jesse's Metro Division 1.75 deviation.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I was really low on the Islanders, I remember. And I was really high on the Rangers, and they ended up finishing like behind the Devils and Hurricanes
Third.
and everything. So, yeah, that's where
Interesting.
I went wrong.
Very, very interesting.
No,
So thank you
and
for
it's
that.
so cool that People kept track of this.
I know.
Like, you can't rely on us three to do that. So that's really cool. Thank you. Always
you're the
thanks
best.
to our Discord for
Always.
That
awesome
is so
shit
cool.
like this.
Yeah. I honestly, sometimes I'm like, I want to go back and look at it, but I'm like, I don't know if I can swallow that much pain.
How does it feel to suck the most?
Listen, it's not great. Not loving it. I don't love
last
it.
place.
I don't love it.
Yeah.
But you know,
You
I
get a
don't-
pie in the face.
I need no more fish pies in the face. We didn't agree to that.
Hey, wait a sec. I won. So I agree. Let's do the whole pie to the face thing. And then it's my turn to go, Adam, plep. Yeah. And then friggin' just wallop you right in the face.
All right, Jesse, what do we got? What else we got?
4?
Well, do you have any questions
The
that you want to?
show.
Yeah, I can bring up my questions for the press conference. While Steve laments sucking at naming all the Leafs who played this year.
I'm bummed about that.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, like, why didn't I? I think if I had the Nicolas Aubé-Kubel path should have led me down the Avalanche path, which would have led me to Malgin and Dryden Hunt, and then Radom Zahorna.
Yeah.
And then the path didn't open. In my brain.
I gave you a lot of just like I didn't make sure you said TJ Brody and Morgan Riley. Like, you should have those as free squares.
I think
you know?
I said TJ.
Yeah, but like I
Yeah.
wasn't really paying attention during those. just so we're all honest.
Good
here.
job, bro.
I like that. I like that.
Because you said it so much quicker than I can delete a name on WordPress.
Oh.
So it was a little difficult. I think next time I want physical printouts and just a pen.
Always
and we
go
can do
print
this.
out.
Yeah, and I can
Always
just
go
scratch
print
them
out.
out. But that's why we do these things.
That's right.
We tinker and we work through. So I forgot this happened. I forgot I read this in the Discord. The Minnesota Wild released their playoff hype video,
Oh,
and Adam Wild is featured in it.
what?
Let's go.
No way.
So give me half a second.
What?
To pull this
Why?
up. Yeah.
Let me
Why?
guess. He doesn't like them.
I did like them though.
The Dallas Stars got on my nerves so much.
Oh, here we fucking go.
a few
Okay,
years
I
ago
found it, I
because
found
they
it.
kept.
Are you
quoting me
serious?
on their
Why am I
roots a
in
couple-
this?
No, I'm lying. It's a joke.
See, it would have made much more sense to have Steve because people actually know who he is.
What? Stop that.
No, in truth, and then the hockey thing. All right.
All right.
What
so
did I say?
Minnesota Wild hype video.
Oh, this is gonna be.
I'm gonna
bad.
play it and we can enjoy. It's called Grit First.
Oh God,
You guys ready?
I'm screwed.
Good luck to all you.
I think this team is actually a heck of a lot stronger than people give it credit for.
Oh, you look smart. He looks smart.
Reeves
He looks smart.
for a 5th round pick in 2025.
You're not scared of me. No. You're like the only guy in the league. That's impressive.
The trade deadline was 2 o'clock yesterday.
Is that it?
No.
Continued to make
Oh.
moves.
I think we got a lot accomplished today. I think we're better today
was a great
than we were
Reeves
yesterday. And, we're serious. We're serious about winning.
Here we go, Greta. Now we go to work here. Here we go.
Leaving at each other, one after another.
Hey, yo, boys, show me something.
It's a good hype video.
Matt Boldy with 0 seconds left on the clock. Beat the buzzer. He fires. He scores. Freddie Gaudreau. Another shootout game winner.
Wow! Matt Zuccarello puts his teammates on his back.
He looks fantastic. He looks like the 97 that you all know and love.
I love Kaprizov.
Yeah.
Great player.
This kid is unbelievable. Are you kidding me? Another hat trick for Matt Boldy.
This has been, dare I say it, a revelation with this player.
I am all the way in on what Bill Guerin's doing, and I actually think they're going to come out of this and be a perennial Stanley Cup favorite.
A team that right now understands.
Adam, I couldn't help but notice they keep finding ways to put Marc-Andre Fleury over your quote. Is
that cool?
this a Walsh thing?
That is all I need. Hey,
Hey!
Way to go.
It's not. You thought oh, we're going to bring up this thing, and it's going to be Adam Wylde shitting on the Wild, and they're going to flip it.
And I was trying to think, I'm like, I haven't said anything bad about the Wild.
You said great things.
Honey, have some believe in yourself.
Okay, all right.
Have some belief in
I'm
yourself.
a little burnt. I've been a little burnt.
Adam, that's so cool.
That is very cool. Wow, I have to show my mom. That's very, very cool. Like, how cool is that? That means that somebody over there has got to be listening to the show, right?
I guess
That's
one of their editors, somebody
Amazing.
who
Well,
works
whoever
in the
they are.
organization, you know.
They looked up good takes on YouTube.
Oh.
And you popped.
No, because like those are such. I don't know if they're from like the season previews or what, or if they're just in the podcast. But somebody had to be listening deep, you know, for us to talk about the Wild.
For sure.
like that.
For sure. I think it's in the previews.
That is an unbelievable video, by the way. 'Cause I've
Really
said,
well done.
I've said everywhere, like, yeah, no, I don't really see them winning the first round. And I see that, and I'm like, they're winning the fucking cup.
Oh yeah, I want to run through a wall for the Wild.
Yeah.
now.
Oh my god. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know who I picked, but I want them. Okay. Can I?
So I just shout out Pond on our Discord.
Hey, Pond.
Their username's Pond. They're the one who put in the press conference questions channel that you were in the video. So thank you for alerting us to that. We really appreciate it. This was a cool moment.
I love that their name
Adam
is
made it.
Pond because they're from Minnesota, and isn't that known in the land like 1,000 lakes or something?
They're known as the land of ponds.
Land of Ponds, right? That's why. What was the Alan Walsh story one more time with the guy who was like, "I'd like to sign in Minnesota because I don't think they're very good." And I'd like to.
Seeger.
That's right. But
Like, yeah, I just want to fish.
that is very cool. Let me do another one for their next hype video when they go to the second round.
Okay, here we go.
There you go.
The question is, gentlemen. The question is, ladies and gentlemen, can anyone stop the Minnesota Wild? Are they going all the way?
Here, wait. Let me be the doubter.
All right. Do it.
No way, man.
I don't think you know. I don't think you understand the intensity, the depth, and the experience that this team has. And they have a Stanley Cup winner in Bill Guerin in the front office.
So you're saying you believe?
I'm saying I believe in the state of hockey.
Fuck, that's good.
Thank you.
Put that part in, too.
Thank you.
Fuck, that's good.
That should be their new tagline. Minnesota
Fuck,
Wild.
that's good.
Fuck, that's
the
good.
Minnesota Wild.
Do you think you should have gone back to the Bill Guerin well? You know, you did it in
worked.
this one.
Well,
you know.
I'm going with what worked, man.
That's true.
If I got to bribe him once, I'll bribe him twice.
Here, wait. Here, I got one. They really... Wait, which camera?
Camera 4 for you. I'm 2.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Wild really turned a corner when they fired Chuck Fletcher.
I really don't think that's making the video.
No? What about this?
I don't think they're putting...
What about this?
There's no evidence he did a good job in the slightest. They got good the second he left. Sorry. Anyway.
Hold on. Oh, what about the buyouts? The buyouts. Should we say something about the buyouts?
Parise and Suter?
Do Parise and Suter get rings?
Oh, no.
They might. They're both in the playoffs.
Oh, no.
Do they still have Fedor Gordieev's rights?
That's a good.
I hope they sign him.
Get rings. Suter is playing for Dallas, and Parise's in on the island.
Suter's playing. Fuck! I should have put that in my preview video.
What?
That's hilarious.
He's also had a good season.
Yeah, because he's good.
Yeah.
It's not that he's bad.
I think there was some personality conflicts there, and that's why. Sure. But either way, that was very cool.
So are you rooting for a Wild Devils Stanley Cup final now?
No, I'm rooting for a Wild Leafs Stanley Cup final. Now, officially, forget anything I ever said about the Western Conference. I am officially a Minnesota Wild fan and a Toronto Maple Leafs fan in the East. Anything.
Give me fuel, give
Sorry,
me fire.
Connor McDavid. It's all about Kaprizov for me.
The Minnesota fucking Wild.
Oh. Wow. I'm sorry to have interrupted that. That was spectacular.
Yeah.
Well done.
Know?
I really don't think they beat Dallas in the first round.
Well, Ryan Suter. Guess we'll find out. Get rings.
What?
Get rings. Because he's playing for Dallas, right? Ryan Suter?
Oh, no.
He's not?
What?
The guy they bought out,
Yeah.
Suter, is playing for Dallas, is he not?
Yeah.
So,
Sorry. I was staring off into space because I thought of another one.
what?
Oh.
Okay, go. There we go.
What are we doing here?
We're making
Maddie's like,
content.
can you wrap the fucking
Yeah, I'm
show
about
up?
to
I want to go home.
No.
All right. Camera 3, Steve. Or camera 4. Camera 4.
This is the year Marc-Andre Fleury gets his 4th ring.
Ooh, you're getting in.
Chills.
All right, I like that.
So.
Fuck you.
That wouldn't make the hype video. If I was editing the hype video, that wouldn't make the cut.
Well, anyway.
It wasn't that good.
Oh, my God.
gotta
Here he
do
goes
better,
again.
Steve.
Do you really need to do this again? Okay.
Steve wants in on the hype.
I want to be on the live video.
My friend Jesse Blake doesn't believe in the Minnesota Wild, and he's a fucking idiot.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if they can use that, man.
I don't think that was
Can this
gonna
be-
fly.
Here, wait, let me clean it up a bit. Jesse's a fucking stooge.
Can we all?
Shit takes.
Can we all look at the camera and be like, Minnesota Wild tastes delicious?
Why?
You ready?
Why taste?
3, 2, 1.
Can
Come on,
we say
ready?
something better than taste delicious?
No, the opponents, because we're eating them, because we're the Wild.
What? That doesn't make sense.
Just go with it. Fucking go with it, man. All right.
Oh, no.
You started, Adam.
Told you. Minnesota Wild.
Told you. Oh, I like that.
Oh yeah,
All right,
because we all knew.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Minnesota Wild.
Told ya.
This is so stupid.
Is this the end of the show?
And I didn't hit the button, so
wanna
no,
hit
we
the
got
button?
time.
All right.
Minnesota Wild. Fuck yeah.
Okay, move
Do you
on.
want to? We should try and make all 16 hype videos.
Yeah.
We should do one for every team and try and make all the hype videos.
There is no team I believe in more than the Winnipeg Jets.
I've always said Mark Scheifele, that guy knows how to lead, and he's going to lead them to the cup.
Here, I got to give him a little bit of the other side of my face.
Go.
The Florida Panthers are poised for an upset.
That's a good one.
Whoa.
That's a really good one.
The Florida Panthers are poised for an upset, and they're ready to pounce.
The Boston Bruins don't take shits unless they're kind of sick before game 1.
No.
No.
Shit.
Adam.
Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
no.
Come on. I attempted it.
The Bruins are ready to unleash their mighty might roar.
Let me read you this cool PR email that I got from the Bruins staff. No, I'm kidding. Thanks, Adam. We'll pass. Said the
Thank
Bruins.
you for your fun idea. Fuck it.
All right. Listen, I think we should wrap it there. We're done now.
Sure.
Right? No, let's fire it up.
That wasn't all 16 teams, but like whatever.
What else?
The Vegas Golden Knights are bringing the cup to the Strip.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
This team
quickly,
is
enhancing
my life.
Okay, next one. We need 10 more. Steve, 10 more.
Oh, fuck.
Get them in.
Tampa. Tampa, here we go again.
I'm Igor Shesterkin about it. Yeah.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.